Hey, who'd you talk to? What's going on? It's me, Mike Lepre, King Mike L, here for Legit Fantasy Sports. More importantly, Legit Fantasy Football, the flagship of our website. Joining me as always, Brother Ray. Brother Ray, the Super Bowl's over. How are you doing?
Super Bowl's over now. This is my favorite time of the year. Prep for the draft and free agency. That's what it's all about.
Yeah, it's kind of sad when you have a bad team like ours or yours and mine where you start looking at like draft prospects in like week 13. You know what I mean? So
That's
joining us, Ray, Mastrodamus M1. What's going on there, Matt?
What's up, Ray? What up, King?
What's on, Matt?
How we doing, guys?
Oh, I've been talking all day, but I'm ready to talk some more. I don't know. We need a little more intelligence. I'm going to wait till he's done wiping his nose, and here he comes. Good genius. What's up, buddy?
Not too much, King. Just trying to figure out what I'm going to do with my Sundays for the next several months.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Where's Vince McMahon in the XFL when we need him most? It was right around this time last year, Brother Ray. If you remember, we started doing our XFL podcast because there was an XFL frigging league. And what was the team that we liked the most? Ray? Washington?
I forget. That lasted long.
Yeah, like 2 weeks. So I'm gonna go around the horn and we'll see what you guys thought of the Super Bowl. Let me start with Matt. Matt, what do you think of the Super Bowl?
I first want to say we talked about Mike Evans not being as dominant as Randy Moss. That's what we were saying, right?
But no,
hold on. If you go back and you watch that Super Bowl, 4 penalties Mike Evans has in the first half. 2 holding, 2 pass interference.
I take
very, very crucial penalties. Hold on. But the most important penalty of the half was the offsides on the kickoff, on the field goal.
Yeah,
that made them go right down and put it in the end zone.
There were some.
I even think Ronald Jones got the ball across the plane on the third trip down. And I think they should have went up 14-3 at that point. And I feel like the NFL needs to do something about that goal line because I don't like to go into the pile. Did he score? Did he not score? I cannot stand that. They need to have an overhead.
Goal line?
I think
goal line, Matt? They gotta figure out whether it's a friggin' sensor that goes off when the ball crosses or not. But they gotta. I agree with you. They gotta figure that out, and they gotta figure out what to catch before a fumble. Please, in the offseason, figure out what a catch is before a fumble.
I'll be honest with you. We all seen the game. It wasn't much of a game, but there was some penalty flags early on in the game when there was a holding on Evans. I think the Tyrone Matthew picked the ball off, which was so bad. Let him play, and the call was in.
Brother Ray, what did you think of the game?
Well, like Mastradamus said, it really wasn't much of a game. I do have to say, though, the refs really I mean, you can scout those things. I know Belichick used to scout the refs that were playing the game, that were going to officiate the game. He would look at their calls throughout the year, and he would know what he could do and what he could get away with. Obviously, Kansas City didn't do that because they got flagged every single time. And you would think the first 3 times the refs would loosen up a bit, and Kansas City was complaining. I mean, I think they forgot they were playing football, because I really didn't see any obvious calls at all at crucial times. There's no need for it. Tampa Bay would have won anyway. Like, there's no need for it. I mean, at crucial junctures in that first half, and it really did turn things around. So I think it was a black eye for the league.
I don't think race has anything to do with it, Ray. Over to you, Kev. What did you think of the game?
All right, so A couple of comments. Both Mastronomus and Brother Ray said it wasn't much of a game, and it's funny. What's interesting is they're probably right, but because it was Kansas City, it was still a game because everyone thought eventually they would score a couple touchdowns and they would get back in it. And it's probably the only offense in the league where it was still a game, even though it wasn't a game. And so there's that. And then the other thing, the end of the first half, the penalties had some impact there, but that second Andy Reid timeout was atrocious. The first one I understood. The second timeout on 3rd and 2 was unbelievable. Like, what the fuck are you thinking? Your defense hasn't got to stop 2 yards, and then after that, that was it. And then they had the penalties, the offsides on the field goal, touchdown, and still they were somehow in the game. Instead of 14-6, it was 21-6. But you're thinking, okay, Kansas City gets the ball at the beginning of the second half. They score a touchdown, 21-13. Now we have a Super Bowl. But they just never got on track. So I think, and I want to talk about this longer some other time. I think Kansas City is a perfect team to mask all of Andy Reid's deficiencies as a coach. But it was just too much. It was too much in the Super Bowl. Even Mahomes, Kelsey, and Hill and Spagnuolo couldn't cover Andy Reid's just deficiencies as a coach.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. It was a mess of a Super Bowl in that sense. The one thing that I wanted to bring up was that the NFL will not release the audio of what was said between Matthew and Brady. Why? Tell me why. So something happens. He says that Brady said a word that he should have never said, and suddenly the NFL will not release the audio. How is that? How is that possible? How can they decide to not release that audio, but they release everything else? Right?
Michael Irvin heard the audio, and he is a Patriot homer. I'm not saying he's not. He would probably protect Brady, but he said there was no slurs. And I think that, if that audio is there and other people will hear it, Mike's authenticity is on the line. I gotta believe Tom Brady is not gonna say nothing. And when Matthew said that, I kind of questioned it right off the bat. With Brady, it's more about I'm gonna beat you, and he was doing that. He probably went up to him and said, "How's it? What's the scoreboard? How's it feel?" He probably did sneak it in, but Brady respects Matthew very much.
He's a psycho. Look, Brady's a psychopath. He's an absolute psychopath, all right? Brady is on every level a sociopath and a psychopath, all right? He's out of his mind nuts and he thinks he's above the league, all right? And they're actually covering for him because he had to say something.
No,
my opinion, I think he called him a bitch. Well, my opinion, I think Brady called him a bitch. And that's what they don't want to let out on TV because, God forbid, all the people in their Brady, in their pink Patriot hats and, all the little kids at home, they don't want to know that Superman, swears. Kev, what did you think of that?
Look, that's probably as far as it got. And, I don't care about it. I don't mind seeing that.
I'll be honest with you,
each other. I like to see it. I was kind of happy, excited to see him engage a little bit with some of that. He was amped for this game, and you got to get if you're going to go at somebody, it might as well be Matthew. It's not like Matthew doesn't run his mouth either.
I just watched the game earlier, and I don't remember exactly when that was said, but I'll tell you this right now: Matthew got abused in that game. So he might have just went up to him and said, you can't say nothing because I taking you all around the place.
Guys, this is a 43-year-old quarterback who wears women's shoes. Okay, he represents women's shoes, and we both know if it wasn't after the whistle blew and it was in the middle of the field and he saw Matthew come at him, he would kneel like a little baby. He would kneel and crouch like a little baby. Don't hit me. So a quarterback talking smack is foolish. He is never going to mix it up when anyone else on that field, defensive ends, linebackers, safeties, he's not going to mess with the honey badger between the lines. He's doing that because he knows.
I think you need to go back and look at who the St. Louis Rams had. I mean, yeah, St. Louis Rams had in 2001 with Winstrom and the rest of the gang that they had. They had Colossus guys. He's played with the best of them. I hate it when Brady doesn't get his due. He would be great in any era because he's efficient.
How much more due do you want to give this guy, dude? How much more
Listen,
due? He's above the NFL. They won't even release something he said. He said something on tape and they won't release it. Ask, do you think they do that for Eli? Not even. They wouldn't even for Eli. They doesn't come out.
They'll release it, and this is going to be minuscule.
So he's having his own little knee surgery. So Tommy's knee will be better for next year.
They'll look better.
One of the other shots I heard was Shaq Barrett. Dude, if I'm Shaq Barrett's agent, I'd tell him to shut the up. Because Shaq Barrett's exact words were, I'm about to break the bank as a free agent. Like, don't say that out loud. Like, I know we want to break the bank, but would you, Ray, again, back to you, would you want your client to say that out loud?
I mean, the problem is you can't stop these guys from saying, what they're going to say. As far as that defense, though, let's be honest. Guys, Tom Brady didn't win that football game. That defense won that football game. They kept the Chiefs out of the end zone for 4 quarters. They kept them out of the end zone for 4 quarters. That defense, I mean, they're the ones that were the MVP of the game.
I said before the game, I didn't think the MVP would go to Brady, that it would be a collective effort. And I said I didn't think Tom Brady would need to win this game. I didn't think Tom Brady would need to win this game. I did believe Tampa Bay would be in control throughout this game. I called for the double result. I didn't see it to be the shellacking it was. Kevin said earlier that the score, I don't think he said the score didn't indicate the game. I watched it again earlier. It was not a game. That offensive line could not handle the pressure. They were in there every moment that they could be. And that game was won and lost on the offensive line. I've said week after week, it's a week-to-week matchup. You catch Tampa Bay and KC on different weeks when they have their right and their left tackles, and you can protect the king. I think Pat Mahomes can do magical things. I knew that the left and the right tackle being not there against that 4-man rush was just going to be just a lot.
Yeah, another thing, King, it was funny when we were picking the game. Obviously, Mastradamus and I, we had Tampa Bay. We thought it was going to be the running game. And I talked about that first quarter in the first matchup where Hill had 200 yards in the first quarter. They scored 17 points in that first quarter. And I said, it's not going to happen again. That was a fluke. If you take away that first quarter, Tampa Bay wins that first game 24-10. 24-10.
We mentioned it. We said we both liked the way that game ended. I said I don't care about the result. I like the way it ended. It, when I like momentum and when I stop you from beating me like that and I figured you out, they kind of had the idea. I watched it again. They had them mic'd up. They said we know what they're doing. They knew what they were doing. They had.
You heard that part of the mic'd up?
I did.
So they let you listen to that part.
I love it. That straws. He is. Listen, have you seen his hair?
Which one?
Did you see the way he was drunk and the way he was walking like Bernie?
Yeah.
He did it so good.
Fake hair.
Let me make a couple of comments on one. So on Brady, right? Everyone's trying to say, he shouldn't have got the MVP. And you could say it was a defensive effort. Fine. Look at his first half. He was 16 for 20 with 3 touchdowns. What more do you want? He didn't have to do it in the second half. The game they pulled away, like you guys said, it wasn't a game. Why was Tampa Bay going to keep pushing the ball down the field? All they had to do was let the clock run out. 16 for 20 with 3 touchdowns in the first half. That's amazing, right? And
that game was over. That game was basically over at half when Antonio Brown was walking off and giving kisses to the fans when it was 21-6. The game was well in hand.
And if they needed to keep it going, they would have kept it going. They didn't need to. And then the second thing, what you guys are talking about with the line and everything, you're right. That first game, you take out the first quarter. Obviously, Bowles made some changes, and he kept that going in this game. I thought Kansas City would be able to play a more patient offense, and it became clear with the way their offensive line, the condition they were in, all the injuries, they couldn't play a patient game. They couldn't dink and dunk their way down the field. Number one, I don't think they like to do that. I think Andy Reid is impatient on offense. I think he loves just scoring in 3 plays. But they needed to do that, and they couldn't because the pocket kept breaking down. Mahomes, at one point, I was like, they need to pull him because he's going to get seriously hurt with the shots he was taking. So, if I had to looking back, like Ray, you and I were texting about this. Hindsight's 20/20, but I don't think I'll make the same mistake when a team's offensive line is that broken. You got to bet on the defense being able to exploit that, and like I said, I learned a lesson there. But I just can't believe they weren't patient. They didn't have I thought they were going to do a lot of screens, wide receiver screens, tight end screens, all kind of crazy things to get the ball out fast. But and they didn't. They ran their normal offense, so they got torched.
Clyde Tolaire is not that back, and he's also very young in the offense. You can't do a lot of things like you could want to do with him in 2 or 3 years. Le'Veon Bell, when he was in Michigan State, he caught like 60 passes, 40, 50, 60 passes. He didn't do that his rookie year in the NFL because to protect the king is more important. So you got to have pass protection. Make sure you know where you're at. And then Le'Veon Bell started getting the passes. I think Clyde Tolaire is an okay back. He's not where he needs to be. That's why they added Le'Veon Bell. I kind of thought that they'd be one-dimensional. You can't be that way. And I said it before the game started. I said, catch this team running from behind. And they don't want to do that against Tampa Bay, and they did not. And it came back to bite them. I said that their history in the playoffs showed that they came out slow, and they do that a lot of times. I think there's a lot of problems on that team. Not only is it the running back situation, I think that they need another wide out. I think Tyreek Hill is nice, but they need a possession receiver like a Robert
Sammy
Woods.
Watkins wasn't what he supposed to, but didn't do what he was supposed to do.
No, Sammy Watkins isn't what he is. He's always injured. They got some issues over there.
Yeah.
All right, so wait. You have something, Kev?
Yeah, they don't have secondary weapons. That was put on display. Like all season, it was like their Achilles heel, one of their Achilles heels. But it was really, really obvious. Super Bowl. They just don't have any secondary weapons. Watkins isn't what he was, and Hardman is just not consistent enough. And that was it.
And even if you're an unbelievable passer, you have to bang it up in there. You have to run the ball. They've never done that. Even if they they just shied away from it. I've never liked teams that just didn't run the ball. You got to run the ball. You have to show you can control the clock. You can ball control. You can bleed it. You can get a run for a first down, 3 in a row if you got to, right up the gut. I'm going to do this. You know it's coming. Here we go. And I don't think KC's got that toughness. We haven't seen that team win. Tough wins.
No, they're not. They're not a tough team. I mean, I think that's what we found out. They're more of a finesse team, and it was kind of shown. I mean, they're a speed, finesse type team. That's just what it is. Now, I want to switch the subject just for a little while. And what I'm going to do is we're going to do it this way. With all the Russell Wilson talk and all the talk about Carson Wentz in Philly and all the talk about all these people everywhere, we're going to play a little game called Who Will Be My Quarterback Next Year? And we're going to go through the teams and we're going to decide who will be their quarterback next year. Because there's a lot of teams I don't think will have the same quarterback this year. So we're starting in the NFC West, which is, obvious. The Los Angeles Rams. Kev, who will be their quarterback next year?
Stafford. I'm glad you set me up with that one.
Oh, well, we're going to do it.
Thank you.
I like it. That's easy. But Ray, Arizona Cardinals. Who will be their quarterback next year?
Kyler Murray. That's pretty easy.
All right. Matt, San Francisco 49ers. Who will be their quarterback next year?
That's a good
Right?
one. I like that question.
Any ideas?
I love Nicky Mullins, but Nicky Mullins isn't the answer.
The draft?
I think Kyle Shanahan, the way he plays football and the way he is, he's more of a go now. I think that I see here going somewhere there. This is the Mastradamus effect. How about a realliance with Matty Ryan? I don't know how that happens. If that could happen, I would see that the Atlanta Falcons would probably want to keep Matty Ryan around one more year and draft a quarterback. That would probably be their go. But why not get a boatload of picks? You see everybody else getting. Matt Ryan could get you an assload of picks.
I'm going to go with Aaron Rodgers for the 49ers.
Woo!
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah. You know what? Where there's smoke, there's sometimes fire. And there's been a lot of talk with that about him going back to where he wanted to go in the first place. So I'm just going to add my 2 cents on that one. Finally, in that division, Kev.
What?
The Seattle Seahawks. Who will be the quarterback?
Yeah.
You think so?
Yeah, of course.
I think he gets traded. Brother Ray, what do you think?
Yeah, I think it's going to be Wilson, although they're trying to stir the pot now and say he's making comments and the team isn't happy with the comments he's making, but there's no way. It's him.
If they want to fix Seattle, they have to fire Pete Carroll. I mean, that's if you really want to fix Seattle, that's what you would do. But
that's a genius move. I do like what you just said because honestly, I agree. I think it starts with Pete Carroll being a player's coach. I think that gets you so far. I think that I like what he has on offense. I like what he has around him. I like what they did with Jamal Adams on defense. I think that, when you got what you have in the kitchen, you should be able to manifest something beautiful. I think it has to do with the coach.
All right. NFC South. Ray, the New Orleans Saints. Who will be their quarterback?
Unfortunately, I think Peyton has such a big ego that he's going to try and go Winston, and that's not going to work out too well.
It's going to be amazing.
I like it.
Jameis Winston, starting for New Orleans.
That's going to be my quarterback in the corrupted league. I'm telling you right now, that's going to be my starting quarterback next year.
Yeah.
I love it.
I love Jameis Winston.
Only if we lower interceptions for how much we get. Because
he never had a year like he did with that Bruce Arians.
What?
That Bruce Arians year was Bruce Arians' first year. A lot of quarterbacks of great names have had bad years in his first year in the system. And I think that he just saw a lot of things, and he was like, fuck it, I'm going to chuck it. That's what it calls for. And he threw a lot of picks. I never seen Jameis play like that. I love James coming out of college.
I don't like
me too, but he had the same weapons that Brady did, and he threw 30 picks. I don't know.
Yeah.
But Brady in the first half of the year was throwing a lot of picks too.
Right.
And then all of a sudden he said, I'm not doing your offense. I'm doing mine.
Matt, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Who will be their starting quarterback next year?
Oh, my God, that's an easy one. He's a killer. And I said this before. It didn't matter if he was winning or not. He's coming back, and they're going to be better. And I really, truly believe hey, listen, he wants to stick around to stick it to Pat. I think when you start showing somebody who's like, imagine walking away and they're telling you that your ego is no more, and then you see this new shiny toy come in and you're like, it's enough. I don't even want to fucking hear about it no more. I want to beat the fuck out of that little toy. And that's what he did. And he wants to stick around and keep dude, I hear these people, they would say he was.
Oh, your analogy.
I said it weeks ago. I go, I need 7 championships. Brady's got 6. I said that weeks ago. I said that rings in Brady's head more than us. Mahomes ain't never getting 7. He ain't never getting 8. I don't think he'll ever get 5. But for him to stick around and do what he's doing, that's what he wants to do. Brady's 6.
What's the shiny toy that he's beaten?
Mahomes.
Did anybody know that? Anybody follow that at all? All right,
No.
I was like, what the, I don't.
He ain't. That's right. Because you know what? He ain't a shiny toy no more.
Not
Make
at
some
all.
Nobody. Hey, listen. I
yeah, he
collect
is.
cards. Listen, I'm gonna be very serious with you, right? I
All
collect
right, be very
cards.
serious.
I'm on eBay all the time. Before the Super Bowl, his rated rookie, Pat Mahomes rated rookie card was going for like 680, 700. Just snagged it for 280. Swear to God,
Oh,
nobody gets
Really?
Wow.
Listen,
That's amazing. Good for
Hey,
you.
all right, wait, Ray. No, Kev, Carolina Panthers.
Oh,
Who will be
Jesus.
the quarterback next year?
That's a tough one. Fuck.
Yep. You're
It's not
welcome.
gonna be. They tried to trade for Stafford,
Yep.
so they're gonna be in the name. They're gonna be in the market for somebody big that's on the move. It won't be Rodgers. You know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna say Wentz.
Yeah, Carson Wentz. All right.
Yeah,
All
I gotta
right.
go. It's gonna be a name on the move.
That's a big name to call. And I'll wrap the division up with Ray, the Atlanta Falcons. Who will be their quarterback?
Unless they move Matty Ice, I still think it's going to be Matty Ice. Although I will say the one quarterback out there, if I was a team and I needed someone and I thought I could get someone relatively cheap, I would be doing whatever I could to get Sam Darnold.
That's a good
Whatever
one.
I could to get him. He's a gem. He's been on the Jets. He's had Adam Gase for a couple of years. So his stock, buy low, folks. That kid is going to be a good quarterback in this league.
I don't believe the Jets are going to get rid of Sam Darnold. I don't think they're going to draft the quarterback. I don't. I think they're going to draft that Penei Sewell, offensive tackle. How do you pronounce it? I can't pronounce anybody's name. I think they go that way.
The tackle.
But
if they did, that's not a bad thing. Like what we just seen in the Super Bowl. We just seen if you don't protect your king, it doesn't matter who you have back there at all. Doesn't matter who it is. And Tom Brady, as you said, he's not the most gifted athlete out there. But if you protect him, and Tampa Bay has a great line, and they had the best line probably in the playoffs against the teams that they played against. And when we sit back and we look at the playoffs, who's the best team that gave them the best challenge in the playoffs? Who was it?
Who gave Tampa the best challenge?
Who gave the Tampa Bay Bucks the best challenge? Who gave them?
In the playoffs?
It's the Redskins.
Yeah.
Well, they don't exist anymore. But maybe it was the
Redskins. And that shows you right now what we're talking about. It doesn't matter who your quarterback is. You got the pieces together to make a little something. And I like the Redskins. Keep an eye on them in the next few years.
They don't exist.
King, I'm confused. How do we get back to Brady? Does the show do you hit the rewind button?
I don't. He's talking about teams that don't even exist anymore.
And let me rain on his parade.
Football team.
By Game 5 next year, Blaine Gabbert is going to be the quarterback of the Buccaneers. Why? Because a 44-year-old man is going to eventually go down because time is undefeated.
I love that. That's great. That's great because you know what? He didn't take any too many big hits this year. Could that happen? Absolutely. It's only happened once all his career. Injuries do happen. The more you go on, the more injuries probably are bigger as you get them. I don't see that, but Blaine Gabbert's a great quarterback. I like Blaine.
So is
Blaine Gabbert might be nice. I don't think Chris Godwin's there.
So, like what he said is probably correct, but you look at Drew Brees, and you look at Tom Brady. Drew Brees looked like one of us. Like when Drew Brees would get hit, I would groan because I'm like, if I ever get hit, like I would die. Brady still looks the part. It's kind of crazy. But Brees completely fell off, and I was worried he was going to die on the field. Like when he got 11 ribs cracked, I don't know how the heck he came back. Brady though still looks strong and fit, and he's 6'4", and he looks great. But eventually he will break down. But
he will break down. But he's got great pocket awareness, and like the safety that he took in the Giants, he would rather get that ball and give up points and take a big hit because he protects himself. And ultimately, he lost.
I can't believe we're still on Brady. So all right, to the next division, Ray. The Dallas Cowboys. Who will be their starting quarterback?
Tom Brady.
Zach. That's great, though, man. I saw that post. That was great, by the way. Yeah, no, it's got to be Zach.
Who do you got, Ray?
I mean, not Zach.
You think
Dak.
Dak?
Dak.
Dak.
Prescott, baby.
Dak. Saved by the bell. What are you going to do? Kev, the Philadelphia Eagles. Who will be
what's his name?
starting quarterback?
Jordan, whatever. What the hell's his name?
Jalen Hurts?
Yeah, Jalen Hurts. I was going to say Jordan. Yeah, I was going to say Jordan Wentz. I don't know. Jalen Hurts.
You think they start Jalen Hurts? I got a weird feeling about that. I don't think he's. I don't think he's comfortable enough with. I don't think the moron that whole organization. That whole organization is a dumpster fire. Yeah. But I don't think that they believe necessarily in Jalen Hurts.
But I think they have to prove themselves. I think they have to prove themselves right, and they have to start him, because if they don't start him, then they have to admit that they were completely wrong with the pick. And I don't think they're gonna do that. I think they got that coach in there. They're just gonna tell him what to do. They're gonna say start Hurts, unless Wentz is still there. If Wentz is still there, then it's a problem. But I still say they start Hurts.
Dude, it's a problem already. Think about it. All the things you're saying. Like, if he's still there, if this still happens,
Wentz is not going to be there, and Jalen Hurts is a stud.
A stud. Wow.
The Washington football team, Maddie. Who will be their starting quarterback next year? He's like, who? The Redskins?
They're going to bring somebody in. That's a tough one. That's a tough one, King. It's going to be
you stuck? Because I have an idea who might go there. You mentioned him a little earlier. You were talking about the quarterback. He's very white and he's very bland.
I don't think it's going to be Matt Ryan.
There it is. Funny, though, you knew what I was talking about when I said very white.
And if it was Matt Ryan, that would be nice, but it's not Matt Ryan. It's not Matt Ryan, but it is somebody. And I think that they're ready. I think that they're ready. I think that they're ready for they're borderline Indianapolis Colts. They're ready for a championship. They're quarterback away. I keep on hearing that Andrew Luck's going to come back, and I hope to God he comes back to the
Yeah, I heard that too. I heard that conversation too. You know what happened? So some girl who's friends with his wife's best friend saw the email and asked about it. And she said, "Who's that?" And the wife was like, "Oh, it's just Jim from the Colts." So that's where that whole rumor started. I'm being serious. That's how the rumor started.
Well, they're trying to refute it big time. They're saying keep away from it. There's no truth to it. I got to believe that Andrew Luck is a competitor. I love Andrew Luck. I think he's a generational talent.
He's a genius too.
I would hate to see this Indianapolis Colts team that you guys know I love so much go to waste without Andrew Luck, because I love Andrew Luck too. The combination is great.
Last team in the NFC East is the New York Football Giants. Who will be their starting quarterback? Daniel Jones. Now moving on to the NFC North.
It's
Brother
Zach
Ray.
Wilson.
What's that?
It's Zach Wilson.
Yeah. Ray, Green Bay Packers. Who is your starting quarterback next year?
Aaron Rodgers.
He stays then. You don't think he leaves? You don't think he's that frustrated where he wants to leave?
I mean, who's he have to be frustrated with? I mean, does he look in the mirror and say, "Oh, I'm really frustrated"? I mean, really? I mean, that's just, bad game. You're coming off the field and you said something you shouldn't have. So he'll be back. I mean, they're not ready to go to Love yet. You took Love in the first round. Are you really going to trot him out as your quarterback of the future next year? He is one of the most raw prospects at the quarterback position that has ever been drafted in the first round.
I think, though, if they draft like a running back next year, I think Aaron Rodgers in the first round is going to lose his freaking mind. Like, if they don't get him a wide receiver, I think his head is going to explode. It would be fun to watch, but if they draft a running back, I think he'll lose it.
They're not drafting a running back. We'll go with A.J. Dillon, and they're not going to go with Jones.
No, Jones is
And,
gone.
I
they
think
haven't
Jones
drafted
goes
a
somewhere
wideout.
else. Yeah, Jones is going to go somewhere else.
So,
Yep.
all right. So, before we move on to all right, let's finish this division. So, okay, Kev, Chicago Bears. Who's your starting quarterback this year?
I already used him, but I would not be surprised if it was Wentz. They're talking about it. I would love to see it. It would be a disaster.
Can't go everywhere though.
Yeah, well, you can go two places. This is quantum physics. Yeah, so I'm gonna go with Wentz being in two places at the same time. But I do want to switch my Carolina pick from to Sam Darnold, so that'll free Wentz up.
Oh, there you go. Way to move things around.
Yeah.
Hey, Matt. Detroit Lions. Who is your starting quarterback next year? I always give Matt the stumpers.
What team is that again?
Lions.
The Lions.
Jared
wish I had the
Goff.
Jeopardy thing.
Jared Goff. Yep. Jared Goff.
Yeah. All right. You ready?
I'll tell you what. I think it's Jared Goff to start, but then Zach Wilson steps in.
You think that's what
You
they
think
draft?
they go with Zach Wilson? Really? No shit.
Goff is a placeholder at best. Come on, let's be honest.
Well, you see, where is the Rams pick?
He
Right?
should be better though. He should be better. Oh, the Rams are. I'm looking at the draft right now.
Maybe
The
like
Rams are up
18
there.
or 20.
Yeah,
They're
they're
around
down.
18.
How can they get Zach Wilson?
No, I'm talking about the Lions. The Lions.
Yeah, the Lions. Send them with the Lions. They're in the top
Okay.
10.
Yeah.
Talking about the
Yeah,
Lions and Zach Wilson.
I mean, Lions. How are they going to get Zach Wilson?
Oh, they'll figure that shit out.
Yeah, I think they're like 6 or 7.
8 or 9. Yeah, they're within.
Yeah,
Before
they'll
the
trade
Giants.
up. They may trade up with the Dolphins. There's talk about them trading up with the Dolphins already to get their pick.
I think they got to go to 2 for that.
You think he's going 2?
I do.
You think he's going in front of Fields?
Besides Trevor, I think he's the best quarterback on the.
Well, the Jets are
I'm
two,
not
so
a
it's
big
not going.
believer. I'm not a believer in Mac Jones. So, and
He's not gonna go
Mac
two,
Jones
they're
is
gonna
getting Mac Jones is getting talked on number 3. Now he's moving up. I can't. I don't believe it.
All right. We're now switching divisions, but before we do that, let's take a second and stop. As far as running backs coming out in this next draft, the running back that's not touted as the best, the running back that's not like on everybody's list, is the type of running back that Brother Ray would draft in the fantasy league. That's that Chris Johnson pick when nobody really was aware of how fast he was. We all
was
picked
me.
running backs, and then he
I'm sorry.
picked it. What?
Sorry, King. That was me, and I nailed that pick. I got Chris Johnson with the 8th pick because of how fast he was. So
All right.
that one I'm taking credit for.
He's done that though before. So
Yes.
the man I want to speak about, and I'm gonna do it real quick. Hold on. Let's see. I want to share this right here. This will be the dude. I hope you can hear it. And it's loading. Who's this? Watch. Jarrett Patterson, Buffalo. Watch him move. And move. Watch. No, I'm being serious. Watch. He had like what, 9 touchdowns in 3 games or something like that, or 2 games
Oh, wow.
from Buffalo. Let him down the line, and that's just one run. Watch. I hate when they should watch it. Here we go. Just watch this kid, and he fights boomies. Not just speed, but that, you know that straight ahead falling down almost type power where they'd rather fall forward. Watch him again. Gone.
Ooh.
Gone, this kid. I mean, he is just like this to me. This is the type of kid that does well in the NFL. Like, that's the kind of running back that does well in the NFL. The one that look at this kid. Fast, hit holes, and they're gone. Look at that. He hasn't been touched on the last three carries, has he? I'll give you one more. Watch. Just replay it again. That's my Jarrett Patterson. So, guys, honestly, I've been researching the draft, and you come up with gems like that. Like, I think that kid's going to be successful. I know he didn't play the big college teams, but those cuts and the speed doesn't matter. You know what I mean? When you can make those kind of cuts, and that you'll play on any level. The only problem I would foresee with someone like that is one minor injury, and some of these athletes are never the same. Some guys, if they don't have the exact speed and movement that they're used to, they're never the same. But I think Jarrett has a chance to be somebody. Ray, and Kev and Matt, are there any college picks, draft guys coming up that have piqued your interest where you've researched into them because you just wanted to like I did Quiddy Pay because he played in Rhode Island. That kid's a beast. I did a couple of research on a couple of them, but I want to know if you guys have like looked into the draft and picked anybody? That's a really weird thing Matt's doing right now. Ray?
There's one guy that looks interesting because he kind of reminds me a little
Ray
bit
here?
of James. Oh, can you hear me?
I can hear
Everybody frozen.
Yeah.
I can hear Ray.
Can you guys hear me now?
I can hear you.
Ray.
All
Ray,
right.
I can hear you.
King, are you there?
Hello.
No,
King.
you're all frozen.
No.
Now you're back. Wait.
All right.
Yeah, you're back. Now you're back, Matt. Kev's still frozen. Now he's moving. You guys are frozen
All
like
right.
you got 2 minutes. Go ahead, go.
All right. The guy I've been looking at, he had a really good Senior Bowl, is Ramondre Stevenson from Oklahoma. Can you see me?
Wait.
What are you?
He's gone.
Is everyone gone? Is Mastradamus taking over the show?
I can hear my voice, but there we go.
Oh,
Hey.
hello.
How's that?
I
How's that?
Mike, you're frozen. Everyone else is fine.
Can anyone hear me? Oh
I
my
can hear you now,
God.
yeah.
Dude, that's like a Picasso.
Yeah.
Hey, there we go.
All right.
She wants
I'm trying to get
mom.
back to ground zero, gentlemen. I don't know what just happened. But let's see if we can get back to ground zero.
All right. Can you guys hear me?
Yep. I can hear you
All right.
fine.
You hear me now, right? You're on?
Very quickly.
Kev, you're on?
Yep.
Good, Ray.
I'm here.
All right. Yeah. Very quickly. Ramondre Stevenson.
Go, Ray.
Ramondre Stevenson, running back, fullback out of Oklahoma. Big guy, 6 foot, 232. He's got good speed. Reminds me of James Robinson a lot. Can do everything, catch the ball. He had a great Senior Bowl week. He can block. And that's the biggest thing, guys. He's from a big program, Oklahoma. So you're always looking for that when you're looking for a running back. He's going against top defenses. He can block. And he's someone that's going to start right away. And you're going to keep him on third down because he can catch the ball.
All right. Kev, you got anybody you've been watching?
No, I'm gonna pass on this one.
You don't have to.
No, I'm gonna pass on this one.
I love
All right.
college.
Matt, I'm going to step in really quick, though, for Kev.
Yep.
What is he saying? Go ahead, Matt. Give me
I was
somebody
gonna
you're
say,
looking at.
I love
keep on coming
college.
in and out.
It looks like my daughter's about to do like we were talking about with the wrestling show. It's a double chair spectacle from the top. She's a young wrestler. She go for it. Just do it. I'm never gonna say don't. Go for it. But anyway, we'll
All
talk
right.
about it after. So
Guys.
listen. Hold on. What I was gonna say, right?
Matty, let me give you.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Matt's kidnapped this show right now.
Yeah, I don't know what the hell's going on.
Kidnapped the show. Chaz Surratt. The name is Chaz Surratt, linebacker, right, out of North Carolina. this kid was the best at blitzing, right? His ability to blitz is just unmatched. However, he's not a great tackler. His tackling is just not that great. But he's the ultimate project. Chazz Surratt, Surratt. He's in on every play. If you watch him, he's in on every play. He's just not the greatest wrap-up tackler. He's like one of those safeties that are big enough to play linebacker, if that makes sense to you. And he's just a beast. Matt, you still with us? All right. Guys, moving to the AFC. Let's go through this. Kev, the Tennessee Titans. Who's your quarterback next season?
Yeah, stay with Tannehill.
You like Tannehill, huh?
Yeah, they'll stay with him. I don't really like him, but they're going to stay with him. What are they going to do?
Why do they stay with him? Because they're comfortable? You think they stay with him because they're comfortable?
Yeah, the interesting thing there is going to be how do they do without Arthur Smith? That's going to be the really interesting thing to figure out. But they'll stay with him. I mean, he works with their personnel. He's solid. Sometimes he plays like a top 5 quarterback in that system. So they'll stay.
Maddie, Indianapolis Colts. Who is your quarterback next season?
I hope it's Andrew Luck. I'll tell you what. It looks like it's going to be. It looks like it's going to be an outside quarterback. I don't think it's going to be Eason. I think Eason's going to be a backup for another year.
Tony Eason?
I don't know. Huh? I know. I said I don't think it's going to be Eason.
No. I said Tony Eason.
Jacob Eason.
Listen. Let me go to Ray really quick on this one. Ray, the Houston Texans. Who's the quarterback next year?
Well, I mean, right now it looks like Watson's going to get shipped. I mean, I'm doing everything I can to keep him. I mean, that being said, if he leaves, they're going to be on the trade market, which isn't great. They don't have any draft picks, so if they trade Watson and they can get up high, then yeah, they're going to probably look at, I would say, Fields or Zach Wilson, who we just talked about. But that's tough if they're going to come out of the gate, with a rookie. So they are going to look for a veteran. And that really, it's kind of like, your flavor of ice cream. Everybody has a different flavor. And depending on what they want to do offensively, I mean, that's going to dictate it. So who knows what they're going to, what they like as far as what they're looking for in their QB, if they're going to go the free agent route.
Can you see the Texans making a trade?
Oh, yeah.
But
if Watson is traded, they're going to get multiple picks. So, and I'm sure at that point, they're going to look to draft somebody and maybe just get somebody as a stopgap to groom them.
I got a trade partner for you. You tell me if it'll work. The New York Football Giants. Daniel Jones and then 2 first-round picks. Deshaun Watson. Suddenly, we're a really good team. It's going to take Dan about 1 more year.
It's probably going to cost more than that, I think, to get Watson.
Well, dude, who's the one that they've been hanging up on that they want 2 first-round picks for? People are just like and hung up. There's somebody that they've been somebody that's on the market that they've been trying to sell, and someone was like 2 picks. No way.
I think Wentz.
Yeah, it might have been Wentz. All right, so moving to the no, because I'm going to skip the Jaguars because we know who's going to be the quarterback for the Jaguars next season. He looks like a female. He looks like a female, and I don't mean that to be disrespectful. I'm not at all. I'm telling you my beliefs. He looks like a
lion.
A female lion.
Yeah.
All I'm going to say is, their coach recruited Justin Fields.
Yep.
No way.
So keep that in mind. Not
Two losses. Two losses in his NCAA career, and you want to say he's a
Justin Fields is going to go the same route, maybe not as bad, but of the new starting quarterback of the Pittsburgh Steelers. Let's go now, AFC East. Brother Ray, the Miami Dolphins. Who will be your starting quarterback next year?
Better be Tua. That's all I'm going to say. I don't want Deshaun Watson. I don't want to trade all my assets I don't want to give up a boatload of stuff that you took all that time and losing to acquire and give up on your quarterback of the future. Very, very stupid and short-sighted. He had a really good rookie year. His completion percentage was really good for rookies. He did much better than Josh Allen did his rookie year. That's all I'm going to say. It better be Tua.
All right. One thing I had on Tua, and this is the eye test when I watched him play, is some of the long passes were very lollipopish, very hang in the air, too long, high arc. He looked like he was shooting a jumper. You know what I mean? Like he just went up and dropped it. I don't know. That's something obviously you can fix, right? It's just putting a little more zip maybe on some of those throws. I guess I wasn't blown away by Tua. I thought he would be better than when I watched him play. But the kid's smart. I'll give him that. Like I can tell that the kid knows what's going on. So
he has an elite arm, King. No worries. Elite arm, elite touch. He has the zip. He can throw. He can make any throw in the NFL.
All right, Kev, New England Patriots.
Yeah, that's a really tough one. But without getting into a huge conversation, I'm going to say Cam Newton comes back for a second year.
Yeah. See, I don't think he does, dude, because this season with the Patriots did nothing for his stock. Like it did not help his stock at all. So I don't think he stays here. I think he goes and plays for some team. He goes to the Jets.
I don't know how they get out of it because they're not gonna. I don't think they're gonna trade for a big name. I don't think they're gonna give up a ton of picks. So that. And they don't have a high enough pick to get like one of the quality guys that Brother Ray and Matt were mentioning as far as draft goes. So I'm not sure what they're going to do. Like they have a lot of things to fix, and I don't think next year is going to be their year either way. I think they'll be better than this year, but I don't think they're going to be a Super Bowl contender next year. So that's why I'm saying you just kind of go that way. But yeah,
I'm going to make a prediction.
Yeah.
All right.
And they will go the route of a trade. And we love the fact the Patriots always go and they attack the weak. They're going to go and they're going to grab Carson Wentz. They're going to pick on the Philadelphia Eagles. And they're going to say, we know you like Jalen. I think Nick Foles is going to go back there as a backup. And I think that they're going to see Carson Wentz a Patriot.
I think the Eagles are a mess. Just think of the conversation we're having right now about them. It's just like, maybe Nick Foles will go there. Maybe they'll fucking break. Buffalo Bills.
Wait, before we move on, King, I think there is one player that's going to go there, and he's played quarterback for every team in the AFC East.
You're going to say what? Fitz?
Except the Patriots.
Patrick.
Fitzmagic. Fitzmagic is going to come in as he's going to hold a job. And they're going to draft Mac Jones either late in the first or in the second round. And I know Mastradamus is going to have a heart attack because he hates him. But I think that's what they're going to do.
That would be an interesting one. I can see that. I was thinking either for Fitz, either there or Indianapolis. I could see also, but he'd be interesting in New England.
Wow. All right. Let's bring Maddie in and let's move to the next team. And we'll give that to, I don't know, let's just give this to Ray. The New York Jets. Who will be your starting quarterback?
Sam Darnold, if they're smart. Give the kid a chance. Give the kid a legitimate chance.
But you think that's going to happen? I mean, look, we're talking about the Jets, right? We're talking about the Jets. So what you're saying is, but do you think it's going to happen?
They could very well take a quarterback. They could very well take Fields. They could very well take Wilson. I can't predict what the heck they're going to do. They're out of their minds. I mean, let's be honest. If I'm them, I'm keeping Sam Darnold. I think if Sam Darnold's available, I think Belichick would definitely go after Darnold. He's seen him twice a year for several years now, so he knows what that kid can do. So if they cut on Darnold, Belichick will definitely swoop in, I think. We'll try.
I think Sam Darnold is a true talent. I really do.
I just don't think the Jets would trade him to the Patriots. I think that's for the one team that they would not even pick up the phone.
I don't think that he would have much value to even be traded. I think he would be almost You know?
Yeah. All right. Let's jump to the Buffalo Bills. That's a no-brainer, right? We know who they're going to stay with. There'll be no movement there. I think we can all agree on that, right? So then going on to the next AFC division, let's go with the Pittsburgh Steelers. Who's your quarterback?
Yeah, that's the Pittsburgh Steelers. I mean, they're at that point now where it's, they got to make a decision. I mean, it's tough. I would have to say it's got to be Ben. I think he's going to come back again. I mean, absence of anything else, any late breaking news or trades, or if he decides to hang it up. I mean, I think he's somebody that he's taken a lot of hits. I wouldn't be surprised if he decided to retire. But I'd have to say Roethlisberger right now.
Ben reminds me of this part of the NFL that I just want to retire. He's part of this whole like same old type junk of people that I would just like them to move to the side and let us go through. You know what I'm saying? One of the greatest photos I found online was this one right here. McCown. Those are all the teams he played for, but you would have to add, he said, I think it's +6 or +3 for all the teams he's played for. He had to have his daughter get friends to wear all the different jerseys because of all the teams that he's played for.
That's awesome.
That is awesome. He's played for that many different friggin' teams. All right, let's run through the rest of this division. We got like 9 teams left. Let's fly through it. Matt, Baltimore Ravens. Who's your starting quarterback next year?
Lamar, but he's got one more chance.
One more chance. Ray, Cleveland Browns. Who's your quarterback next year?
The Kings' favorite quarterback, Baker Mayfield.
I hate that guy. I hate that son of a bitch. Kev, Cincinnati Bengals. The Bengals.
Burrow. Yeah, it's got to be Burrow, of course.
Burrow. Okay. Okay. Moving to the West. Kansas City Chiefs. M1. Who's your quarterback?
I don't know after that last performance.
Chad Henne.
Tony Eason. Ray, Las Vegas Raiders. Who's your quarterback?
Ooh, that's a tough one.
I mean, there's talk about them potentially trading him as well. I don't see that happening. I don't think he was the problem. I'd have to say their status quo.
So you don't know?
Carr?
All right.
They got a status quo. They can't move on. I mean, legitimately, they can't. It wasn't the kid's. I don't think it's his fault. I think it's Gruden's fault.
Gruden's the game passed Gruden by like he missed the bus to go to school. It's not even close. You know what I mean?
I don't think it's there yet. I think he's in a tough division.
Kev, you have the Chargers.
Herbert, of course.
Yep. All right, bang. Last team, Matty, the Denver Broncos. Who's your starting quarterback?
Well, it's got to be Luck for at least one more year, maybe half a season.
Stay with Drew Lock?
No, Lock.
So you're staying with Drew Lock for one more year, right? You agree with that?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I do agree with it. I thought he played well at times last year, and I think Fangio was one of the worst coaches in the league.
I think they're going to stay with him, but I think he's awful. I think he's absolutely terrible. The sooner they cut bait with him, the better off they'll be. Lock.
He didn't have a lot of his receivers the whole year. He lost Cortland Sutton was supposed to be a top 5, top 10 wideout. Tim Patrick's young, but he became a number 1. Jerry Judy's not ready for that.
No.
He had no fan who was injured. He didn't have many people all year long. He's a decent guy, but you got to have someone on third.
So if he doesn't do it next year, he's never going to do it. With all those guys, either Sutton, Patrick, Judy, Fant, like he's if he doesn't do it next year, they got to cut bait.
So here's what it seems like to me. Tell me if you guys agree. Something's going to happen to set all these quarterbacks in motion. There's like 2 or 3 quarterbacks that are in play that if they go someplace, it's going to change everything. So what would be, let's end up with this. Give me your biggest long shot but surprise move. Long shot, not holding you to it, but it would make sense. It's got to make sense. It can't be like, Brady to the Jets, because that ain't happening. But like, give me something that's like, hard to believe, but still believable.
Matt Ryan is going to go to the 49ers. Carson Wentz to the Patriots.
All right. Wow. Well, all right, though. Ray, Kev?
Go
I'll
first.
I'll go Carter to the
I go
Patriots.
Go ahead. Here you go. Carter to Patriots. All right. Ray?
I think the biggest shock would be Jimmy G going back to New England. Belichick could prove everybody wrong.
I would like that.
I think that could happen. I think
I
that
do
could
too.
completely happen.
Me too.
I'm with you 100% on that. All right. My biggest one is the Giants draft a running back early as they slowly send Saquon Barkley on his way. And you want to know why? Because of how much money he's going to ask for and how valued running backs really are. You saw what Wayne Gallman did. He ran better than Saquon did because Saquon doesn't want to run straight. He wants to do a little bit of a move and then go. And that doesn't work. It doesn't work in some places. So my biggest surprise is that, in my opinion, the best running back in the league is he's not going to be there. He's going to be on another team. Same thing with Zeke. Zeke Elliott. I'm going to go 2 for 2.
Oh.
Saquon and Zeke, they got one more year with their teams, and they'll both be gone. They'll both be out of the NFC East, in my humblest opinion. Does anybody else have anything to say before we wrap it up on another edition? Raymond?
Just looking forward to the offseason, guys. It's going to be fun.
Oh, I can't wait to dig deep into it. Maddie?
I'm good to go, man. I can't wait.
I love the
He won,
offseason.
we won. He won,
Kev.
we won.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, anyway, he won, I won, and I can't wait to see the quarterback carousel spin a little bit. I think it's going to be less movement than most people think, but more than normal.
Man, the free agency is going to be the balls, right? Then the draft combine. Oh, I love watching 300-pound guys try to run a 40-yard dash. They're never going to run 40 yards in their lives. But we're timing them on a 40-yard dash. You know what I mean? Like 20 yards in, the guy wants a sandwich. Like it's just great watching these behemoths run. But we are streaming live on YouTube. So next, if you're watching us now, stay tuned. In a couple minutes, we'll have legit fantasy basketball. But for tonight, it's me, Mike Lepre, King Mike L, Legit Fantasy Sports. This was Legit Fantasy Football, the flagship show. Please check us out at legitfantasysports.com. We have everything up there that you can ask for. If you have any questions, feel free to email Kev. Thank you, everybody, and have a great night. We'll see you on